It's NFL Week 7. It's Friday afternoon. I'm Peter Loshak. You're watching SBR Videos, and we are talking with guest handicapper Chris Andrews from AgainstTheNumber.com. We're going to get some of his thoughts at this point in the week on notable line movements and or possible betting value right now from the NFL Week 7 card. Chris Andrews, thanks so much for being with us. What's the first game you'd like to discuss with us this week?
Peter, I'm going to be on the Jets this week.
Yeah, right.
The number was a little bit higher earlier in the week, but even now you can get +8. I still think that presents a pretty decent value. Listen, we know Bill Belichick is just a master at keeping his team very much on an even keel. But I think last week's game against the Colts was a little bit different. Everybody knew that they wanted to really beat the Colts and beat them badly. They didn't cover the number, but really that game was very much in hand throughout the whole game. Obviously, the Colts had about the worst fake punt or whatever the heck that was in history. But before the game, even Tom Brady's father was talking about how he hoped his son could put 60 on his team. They didn't quite do that, but they won very easily. Now they're playing a Jets team that really for years has been built to beat the Patriots.
Right.
Now, they haven't done a very good job at it, but they have covered some pretty good numbers. This year, Todd Bowles is the head coach. I think he's a much better head coach than Rex Ryan. I think he certainly is equal as a defensive coach. You're just not going to hear it from Todd Bowles like you heard it all the time from Rex Ryan. They got Darrelle Revis back at corner. They actually have some very strong corners. They've built around that to try to take as many options from Tom Brady as possible. Their defense is extremely efficient. I know they force some turnovers early in the year, but even with that, they allow 4.4 yards per offensive play, or their defense only allows 4.4 yards per play. They have one of the best running games in the league. Matter of fact, right now they are the top running team in the league on a per-game basis. So I think they're going to look to control the ball, try to keep it out of Brady's hands. And I think the Pats maybe not quite as motivated as the Jets will be in this game. We're getting 8 points. I think the Jets hang in there, take this game to the wire. Patriots probably win, but I think it's going to be a close one.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. But let me ask you this. Anytime you see a line that you like a lot, the next question you have to ask yourself and you have to answer is, why is the line then where it is? And we've seen in the past when Jets had crappy teams and they were big underdogs, they would cover then, and this year they have a legitimately impressive team, yet they're once again getting big points. I mean, why do you think the line opened as such a big favorite line for New England?
Well, I think right now you're looking at New England. They are playing fantastic football. By some measures, this is about as good as that 2017, which was one of the best teams in memory. Unfortunately for them, they lost the Super Bowl to the Giants that year. But right now they are playing extremely well, particularly on offense. There's a few flaws on their defense, no glaring flaws, but I think the Jets will be able to run the ball against them, and I think that's a big key. I think they'll keep the ball out of Brady's hands. And as handicappers, listen, if we're taking the underdog, we just want to keep it close.
Yeah, and I was also told that sharp action came in on the under in this one when it was at 49. I jumped on the Jets at +9 when it was +9. I have to agree with you, Chris Andrews. All right, what's the second NFL game you'd like to discuss with us?
Well, I'm a little bit with the public on this one, which I hate to do. But
the public has been doing pretty well this year, actually.
Well, I hope they can win one more. How's that, Peter?
Yeah.
So, I got them on the Sunday night game. I laid 3, and right now you can lay 3 with a little juice on Carolina. I think Carolina is still a very good team. They're coming off a big win at Seattle, coming home on a Sunday night game. Now, a lot of times that may be a time to bet against the team coming off a big win, but I don't see where Carolina's that kind of team that has really captured the public's imagination. They're a very boring team. Let's face the facts. They have Cam Newton and not much else on offense. They do run the ball fairly well, but Greg Olsen is his #1 target receiving-wise. That's not very sexy. They're not going to look to put up a whole lot of points. Philly, they played very well the last couple of weeks. Their defense especially, I thought, has been very effective. I'm still not a believer in Sam Bradford. They've run the ball a little bit better. Bradford turns the ball over way too much. I think you're looking at a 3-point line. I think that's a very reasonable line to lay on the favorite. Like I said, I think if this was a team other than Carolina that had a little bit more panache to them, I think this line would be about 4.5 or 5, something like that. But instead, I think the 3 is extremely reasonable, and I'm going to be on Carolina, like I said, I think coming home on that Sunday night, if this was Sunday afternoon, might be a different thing. But Sunday night, I think that crowd's going to be up. They're not on TV very often. Philly beat them bad last year by, I think, 24, if I remember correctly, and really embarrassed them. So I think you're going to see a highly motivated Carolina team and really a better team than Philadelphia. And I think they take care of business on Sunday night.
Okay, well, I certainly trust you, Chris Andrews. I personally feel like I have a very shaky read on Philadelphia in general. I wind up just passing on their games most weeks, but you're liking Carolina, and I might tail that just because of how much I trust you. Chris Andrews from AgainstTheNumber.com, thanks so much, and we'll talk to you again next week for NFL Week 8.
Thank you, Peter.